According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone. Boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass you to profit. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed the up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need the prophets. Like we all come together. Cause they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world to know. Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe. You gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass shit. Oh, I'm with step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with you. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell them we can't keep it slave. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got you, baby mother on high, baby pass through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby soul belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will fail you, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Plus your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop it, ass you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
All right, go ahead and clap it up. Shalom Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commander General Yohana. This is ISUPK Austin Tuesday Brotherhood class. Brotherhood and sisterhood is a weapon. Brotherhood and sisterhood is the absolute weapon that we are going to use to come together and get up out of these hellacious conditions that we are in, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You see, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we don't know that we are a people. We don't know that we are a people that belong together. And that's why it's so important to teach these classes, to attend these classes, so you can learn your culture, so you can know who you are. See, most of our men growing up in Christianity, we are taught to be weak, right? We're taught to be weak and soft, and you talk to everybody like this. Oh, Brother Thamakia. Brother Thamakia, I had such an extraordinary day yesterday. Oh, I took the young lad out and we went fishing, and I caught a big old bass. Okay, go ahead, Thamakia.
I might say Shema.
Yeah. You damn right. Okay? And they teach you to be so soft in Jesus. And Jesus comes to love you. But you got to know that you are a man of war. Your priestly duty requires you to have authority over everybody that you outrank. So since you need that authority, and we're the Lord's army, you take what? You take an officer's test. So you can become a priest. So you can learn to teach. So you can be able to teach. You know, you could be able to come and do this work of the Lord. All right. And for you troopers and you young men aspiring to be officers, you're gonna need a blueprint. Okay, you're gonna need a blueprint to successfully accomplish that. All right, and that's why tonight I'm gonna give you bedrock One West scriptures. Okay, foundational scriptures, so you can understand. Matter of fact, somebody give me Daniel 7 and 9. We want you to be able to understand, like, because there's color. There's color in the Bible. There's color scriptures. We have been taught that there is absolutely no color in the Bible, but there is. We know that that Christ is black, the Most High, the angels. But you don't know that coming up in Christianity. You don't know that coming up in the world. But they teach you that Christ is Caesar Borgia. And you grow up believing that. And that's why you grow up loving your enemy more than you love your brother. Somebody read that.
Book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
Is that the what?
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Who is the Ancient of Days? And make sure y'all writing this down and taking these notes. Who is the Ancient of Days? Somebody besides the Maki. Zachariah.
So like to the Ancient of Days be the Most High.
That's the Most High. Continue going.
Whose garment was white as snow,
Ooh-wee.
and the hair of his head was like the pure wool.
It was what?
And his hair on his head was like the pure wool.
His head on his hair was like pure wool. Just like you, black man. Just like you. Okay, continue reading.
And his throne was like a fiery flame,
Mm-hmm.
and his wheels as a burning fire.
You see, it was magnificent. It's glorious. Okay? That's how the Ancient of Days, that's how the Most High sits. He sits looking like you. Okay? Give me Revelations 1 and 13.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
All right, clothed with a garment down to the foot. When you see us out there, when you see us wearing our priestly garment, our warlike apparel, we have a garment down to the foot. Continue reading.
And a girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
And a girdle about the paps has a golden girdle. All right, that girdle ain't the thing that your mama or your girl put on to tuck in her waistline. That's not the girdle it's talking about. This girdle is a war belt. It's meant for war. It's another source of protection. You know, you could gird your loins with this girdle. All right, continue reading.
Verse 14. And his head and his hairs were like wool.
And what?
And his head and his hairs were white like wool.
You see in his head and his hairs, they were white like wool. White being the color, wool being the texture. Continue reading. And it confuses a lot of people because it says his head. So they think his skin tone. That's not what the hell it's talking about. It's going to tell you his skin tone here in a little bit. So how any idiot could come up and say that, it's just not correct.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
His eyes were as a flame of fire. Hold on, Yaga. Now you had something to say, Alzagala? Go ahead.
Salagi, sir. I was breaking this scripture down to somebody before, and they said something so dumb. They were saying the wool part was pertaining to the color of his hair, but then literally right next to it says white as snow.
White as snow.
It don't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And a lot of people, they're going to come against you because they're so used to seeing Caesar Borgia. And since they're so used to seeing Caesar Borgia, they can't get the image that Christ had an afro. They can't put that image in their head that this could possibly be a black man. Because then they would have to throw away their religion. They would have to get rid of it. Because who wants to serve you? Okay? Who wants to serve you? None of them. Okay? Continue reading.
Verse 14 from the top. And his hair were white like wool,
Mm-hmm.
as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire. Does anybody know why his eyes were as a flame of fire? Any troopers? Go ahead, Kakam.
Was he angry?
Yes, he was angry. All right, go ahead. Give it to Yaquan.
It's like he said, he drank wine.
And because he drank that wine. Why did he drink that wine? Because his mind was heavy. He had a big burden on him. He had a big thing that he had to accomplish. Just like any of us. We have things that are so much smaller to accomplish than Christ, yet it still affects us. Right? And since it affects us the way it does, we have to understand that if Christ could get through and do what he did for us, then we could get through it. We can defeat our battles. We could defeat our sacrifices. We could defeat our flesh. Because that's what we're fighting against. We're fighting against our flesh and what we want to do and what we think is right. Continue reading.
Verse 15. And his feet was like unto fine brass.
See, now it's talking about the color. His feet was like unto fine brass. Nobody can don't let nobody ever try to tell you what he looks like without explaining this. Because his feet are to fine brass. Brass is a derivative of brown. Point blank period. Continue reading.
As if they were burned in a furnace.
And then if you take brass or you take anything and you burn it in the furnace, what will it look like? Anything burned in the furnace, what will that look like? Black. Burnt, crunchy black. Dark, very dark. Okay? There any more on that?
And his voice is the sound of many waters.
And his voice is the sound of many waters. Do y'all know what that means? Go ahead, Azayala. You had your hand up first. Other side, Yagana.
So like, so I mean that he wasn't a soft-spoken man.
He wasn't soft-spoken, and what else?
That his voice was the sounds of, it was as loud as the waves crashing. In the
Yeah.
beach.
So what would that mean? If you could speak that loud, what would your voice do?
It would project far.
It would project. It would travel far. Go ahead, Tamaki.
For instance, kind out of one kind. It wasn't no kind out of one kind. It was a for sure thing. Like it was absurd. It's like,
And that's why we speak from the belly. That's why when we're out there, that's why even if you have a soft voice, we're going to keep telling you to speak up until you learn to speak from your belly. Because sometimes you're going to have to get loud. Sometimes you're going to have to give an order to a lot of men. And so everybody hears you. You're going to have to be able to project your voice. And Christ, his voice was like the multitude of many waters. Boy, if you was up close, it sounded like that speaker at camp. You ever stand by that speaker at camp? It like to blow your eardrum out. Okay, go ahead, y'all.
Now, I don't think any of the troopers now, did they know Officer 1 y'all?
Yeah, definitely Yaqua.
But when I first started reading, I was a trooper, a young man. I didn't speak loud at all. I had issues with that, and one guy he stayed on. But it's something that you got to work on. It doesn't happen overnight, but in time, everybody will find their own way of speaking loud. And, you got to get used to speaking into the mic, but it takes time, so don't get discouraged.
It definitely takes time. And everything comes with practice. You're not going to be able to teach a class if you don't practice. If you don't practice these scriptures, you're not going to be vast in them. Like, the thing is, Even when I was talking about Christ, like, and Cap said this too. Cap is the one that told us this. He said Christ was vast in the scriptures, in the law. So he has a cut for everything that's brought against him. Okay? Anything that comes up against you, you need to know the law. You need to know the Bible so you can cut it. If you bring something up to me, I'm going to see if it lines up with this. If it don't line up with that, I can't do it. That's why you need to study to show yourself approved. Okay? That's the end of Revelations of 15. Let's go back to Daniel chapter 10 this time, verses 5. Yeah, but nah, I'm not. I'm doing a specific thing today, so I'm not. I'm not taking no precepts. Daniel 10 and 5.
I'll read.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 5. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of pods.
You see, this is a prophecy that's going to happen. When we read in Revelations, that was the fulfillment of this prophecy of Christ. Okay? But this is Christ in the Old Testament. Go ahead.
Verse 6. His body also like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire.
You see, his eyes as lamps of fire. Like when they said he had the eyes of red, that was his eyes as the lamps of fire. Go ahead.
And his arms and his feet like a color to polished brass.
So what?
His arms and his feet like a color to like polished brass.
See, they done gave us Caesar Borgia all these years. But in the Bible, it tells us what Christ looks like. It tells us what Christ was going to look like. Right? Continue reading.
And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude.
You see, in the voice of his words, there was like a voice of a multitude. Because his word carried. I don't know, you gonna be down the block. And you're gonna be like, damn, what is he talking about? Because it's going to be coming through. You're going to hear that. Okay, let's drop that. Let's get Ezekiel. We'll get Ezekiel 1. Feels good to have an actual Bible in my hand, and always using the phone. Suggest you get the Bible and be fast with it. It's gonna be a time where them phones go off, and you're gonna have to pick up this book and know where to go. Yeah, we're gonna start at 5.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 5. Mm-hmm. Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures.
Hold on. So now this is about to get into the angels. Okay. It said, what did it say? Out of the mist?
Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures.
All right. So this is about to be describing one of the Most High's type of angels that he has. Continue.
And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. Verse 6. And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings.
Yep.
Verse 7.
Hold on. Everyone had 4 faces and 4 wings. You think you're going to see an angel and smile. See an angel, it's going to be scary. All right? It's not going to look like something that you want to run up and hug and kiss. This is something about around the Most High. All right? Continue reading.
Verse 7. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot.
All right. Their feet were straight feet with a slit like a calf's foot. Who knows what that means? Read that one more time so everybody can hear it. Tamaki, if people got answers in the chat or anything too, you could also let me know, or questions or anything. Anything is anything. Read that again And think about what it's saying.
Article Con, verse 7. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a cow's foot.
What does that mean? Yaqua.
It's like it's saying the characters they had, like their feet was like a foot of a calf. Like they didn't have
Like a foot of a calf. But what type of shoe and what kind of movies you see that have that? I'm not letting no officers answer this. That has the foot of the calf. What type of movies you watch? Where they got the foot? Where they got
the Greek mythology moves with the horse.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a shoe that they put over, and they go in and they whooping tail all over the city. What kind of movies y'all think? All right, just imagine I had the shoe, and then I had a little slit right there. What kind of movies had that? They have all black, a mask, a ninja. We was the first ninjas. Our angels is the first ninjas. Everything they got, they stole from us. All that kung fu and all that stuff, that's the Yakarab. They stole everything from us. Okay? You think they just wearing this stuff because it's cool. And you think in the 70s, we would just went and immersed ourselves in Chinese culture for nothing? No. We had a tie to those kind of things, like them ninja shoes that they wear. Like that you're reading that in our scriptures, in our book, in our manuscripts. That is us. We are the salt of the earth. Just like today, they all want to be gangster, right? Because they think it's gangster to be black and Hispanic, right? So everybody want to be cool. They all want to rap like you. They all want to be like you because you're the salt of the earth. Nothing is new under the sun. Where we at?
Verse 7.
Continue reading. Go ahead.
And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
What the angels look like?
And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
So it said the Most High, it said Christ, and it said the angels. And they want to teach you that Christ is pale skin. They want to teach you that the angels are little naked babies, or they're lily white men and women who's going to float down on them. They want to teach you that God is some big white dude with touching the finger, right? Okay? Yeah, we could drop that, man. But y'all just remember that. Okay? So when y'all see that come up, y'all can show people like, oh no, these cultures are stolen from our culture. Just like the judges. That's why America has judges. Okay? They just took it from our customs. All right? Let's drop that. Let's get Jeremiah. See what these are. Look like. Oh, Salakia. Jeremiah 14:2.
14:2. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2.
I'm about to take these off, man.
Judah mourner.
Judah what?
Judah mourner.
Judah mourner. Oh, y'all was hearing this the other day. Y'all was hearing this Sunday. Now you're going to learn how to break it down for Sunday. Shalom, Lord Christ, sir. You want the class, sir? Got out of one con, sir. Read that again from the top.
Con, verse 2. Judah mourning.
Judah mourning. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are mourning because our leadership has failed us, and we are under an oppressor who will never let his foot off of our neck. And since his foot is stammered on your neck, we are suffocated. And you know what he uses to suffocate us? He uses drugs. He uses his weed. He uses his pills. He uses his alcohol. You know what else he uses? He uses his churches. He uses his educational system. He uses his airways in his television. That's why he always has a football game on. That's why he always has that's why he always has some kind of match on, some kind of distraction that distracts you. You got the Olympics on. You got the what's that going on? You got the election. You got to go out and vote. You got the P. Diddy scandal. You got all these things that are in the way and interrupting you. Judah mourneth because we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We don't have the knowledge and the understanding to see through the lines. That's why we need the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, because we are awaking to the nonsense. So all the BS that's going on, we don't see. We see it for what it is, not for what they try to perceive it as. Go ahead, Yagana.
Can I get a little bit of this? Language. Language is pretty much being held. Use it and put it in a sentence. We were languished in prison.
Yep.
That means being held against your will. So we here in America, even though a lot of us Christians think we're free, you just can't do what you want. Everything that you do, everything you want, you gotta go to another nation of people to get it.
Yep.
So you just can't up and go to another country, another continent. You have to get permission. You gotta get paperwork from your oppressors, the one that's having some captivity.
Yep.
So that's all I have.
And you're absolutely right. That's why you gotta have a driver's license. You gotta have an ID. You have to have a social security number. You have to have a birth certificate. You have to have all kinds of stuff because you are not free in America. You are owned. You just don't know you own because you believe the lie. You believe the lie. You believe when you go and cast that vote, you believe that you're picking. You believe that you're choosing. You are not. Continue with that scripture.
Come, and the gates thereof languish.
And the gates thereof languish. All right? The gates thereof that languish, that's our leadership. Our leadership languages. Our leadership lets us down. Our leadership doesn't do nothing. Okay? What they do is they get in bed with the enemy for money. So they sacrifice us. Go ahead, Yaqua.
It's like it says, so the gates are our leaders.
Our leaders. Our leadership. T.D. Jakes, he's supposed to be a leader out there, right?
Right.
Jesse Jackson. Al Sharpton. Oh, he let us show up for every damn thing. These are supposed to be your leaders, right? But they are not leaders. And then you know who they put to lead us? They'll put a LeBron James out there. They'll put some athlete for you to look up to, for them to lead you, when no other nation would ever do that. They would never put a damn athlete in the seat of no damn leadership.
Like so if our gates are our leaders, and language means to be held like captivity.
No, hold on. Read that again from the top.
The whole thing?
Yep.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof language.
Mm-hmm.
They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
Yeah. Okay. So the black into the ground also, that's us. That's our color. And that's a condition. Okay? That's a condition, being black. All right? It ain't really our color because we're brown. But that's a condition. But the gates thereof language is our leadership letting us down. All right? There's there's multiple things in a definition. Okay? That help you out or no? All right. Most High in Christ. But our leaders let us down. They let us all the way down because they don't stand for us. Okay? You need somebody to stand for you. Okay? That's why the leaders in the Israelite school of UPK, they stand for you. Or else there wouldn't be a trooper at camp. There wouldn't be nothing at camp, right? There wouldn't be young men at camp. If there wasn't an older man, I wouldn't be at camp if there wasn't another man who was above that stands for everybody under him. Go ahead, Yagana. Yakwa.
So another way of breaking this down, would it be like, could I say, like the gates of language, like I could say that our leaders are in captivity as well, like the people that's supposed to be leading us. That's why they make the decisions they make now, and because they're being controlled by the man and the white man.
Yeah, because they're wicked men, and they are doing it for self-gain.
Okay.
They're like, all right, I know you have a following. We'll build you up to this position, but you have to do this. You're going to have to teach these things. You're going to have to say these things. You're going to have to do these rituals. And then our leaders go and do it. That's why they're on every list. The Underbar Warrior. That's why they're on every weird list. Every weirdo list. The Epstein list. The every list. They're going to be on it. Because it says that, we got to come up out of Babylon. It says come up out of her. And we are submersing ourselves in her. All right, let's get Songs of Solomon. Songs of Solomon 1 and 5.
This is the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black, but comely.
I am what?
I am black, but comely.
What's that mean? I am black but comely.
It's like, so I am black but beautiful.
Yep. Give him a hand. That's exactly what comely means. Continue.
All ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as
the tents of Kedar, they're very dark. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
As the curtains of Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6.
No, that's it. We just going to 5. Solomon said he's black and comely. He's black and beautiful. Okay? But, they always want to make his daddy some redhead freckle face in every damn movie. Okay? Let's get Job 30 and 30. Love this one.
You said John, right?
Nope. Job, J-O-B. It's Job and Job. Okay? But Job did his job. So Job,
this is
30 and 30.
This is the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30.
Yep.
My skin is black
My
upon
what?
me. My skin is black upon me.
My skin is black upon me.
And my bones
Hold on, anybody got access to NIV? Next time, I want y'all to look that up in the King James, and look it up in the NIV, so you could see how they try to separate you. So you could just see how they try to separate you from your records. That's why we don't read all those other nonsense Bibles. You know what I mean? Read that again.
come out of Khan, verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
My skin is black upon me.
And my bones are burned with heat.
And my bones are burnt with heat. You know what he's saying? He's saying, I am black to the bone. Skin deep. Go ahead. Go ahead and read it.
This is the NIV version of Job 30 and 30. My skin grows black.
You see? It grows black. So when he's going through a condition, it grows black. No. You see how they try to deceive you with these false Bibles. Continue.
My body burns with fever.
My body burns with fever. No. Read what you got. Finish it out. Hold on. Finish that out. That BS out. All right. Now you read that. Grows with fever and all this nonsense. Now you read the real one.
This is the KJV. Book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
That you see the big difference? Not it grows. My skin is black upon me. My skin don't grow black. Continue.
Come out of Wakan, and my bones are burned with heat.
And my bones are burnt with heat. I am black to the bone. Not whatever the hell it said in some NIV. That's why it's important to read the correct Bible. because they are trying to separate so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians from our records. And since they're trying to do that, that's why they have a new NIV. And they just say, oh, it's just an illustration that you can understand more. It's just an illustration that they can lie more. That's what that is. Okay? Drop that. Let's get Acts 13:1.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
They was called what?
Niger.
They was called Niger. Niger, nigger is a derivative of Niger. You think that's something new? You being called this? You've been called this since, read that again. It said who? Paul and who? Paul and Barnabas.
Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
You see? Continue.
And Lucius of Syria.
And see, we've been called these things. Okay? Lucius of Cyrene. And Manin, yep. Continue.
Which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch.
The Tetrarch.
And Saul.
You see? No, we don't need verse 2. You see, you've been called these things. If you didn't think the book was talking about you in any other part, you should know it's talking about you right there in Acts 13:1. That should be completely clear and understandable. All right? There is nothing new under the sun. This is the same old story. All right? You know, go ahead.
Like it says, so Barnabas and Simeon were black, right?
Yeah. God. They was us.
And who was called Niger?
It said, now they were in the church that was in Antioch. Certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon. They were called Niger and Lucius of Cyrene. Whoever was in that church, whoever was in there, that's who was calling them that. You know, some enemy. The same people who've been calling you it. All right? So don't let no people tell you there ain't no color in there. Just like blacks and Native Indians are Israelites.
Right.
Okay? Give me Deuteronomy 27:1. You need to know that blacks and Native Indians are Israel. Okay? You have to know it. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to let your brothers know that they are part of these 12 tribes. Yeah, 27:1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments.
Keep some of the commandments.
Keep all the commandments.
Keep the 10 commandments.
Keep all the commandments.
Keep the commandments you want to.
Keep all the commandments.
Keep just the tithe of the commandments.
Keep all the commandments.
They say keep all the commandments. That's what's required. Not to keep the ones you feel like, not the ones that are easy for you, but all of them. Continue reading. Hold on, is there any more on one? Continue.
Which I command you this day.
That's it? Go to 28:1. Oh, yep. 28:1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
It shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently. Meaning to listen closely. Continue.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Into the voice of your Christian pastor.
Hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Unto your president.
The Lord thy God.
All right, continue.
I will come to observe and to do all
to observe and do, to see and understand it, and then do it. You have to see it, you have to understand it, then when you put that together is when you're doing it. That's what we have to do. We can't just know it. We can't just hear it. Can't just see it. We have to see it. We have to understand it. We have to do it. That's what it means. But that's exactly what he's saying right there. Continue reading.
I will come to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of
Next
the
to
earth.
all nations, since we want to be so equal to all nations.
Will set thee on high above all nations.
Under all nations like we are today.
High above all
You
nations.
see, if we would have just followed the laws, statutes, and commandments and did them, we would be above all nations. We wouldn't be in the ghetto today. We wouldn't be in the barrio today. We wouldn't be on the reservation today. We wouldn't be in the food stamp line today. We wouldn't be in the morgue. We wouldn't be in the morgue because we wouldn't be fighting for such a small piece of nothing that they're trying to give us. They take all the land and they give you this little project and build it up. They give you these little resources, and because they know you're going to fight over them. Okay? We wouldn't be in these conditions if we listened to the Lord our God. Instead of listening to our flesh. Instead of listening to our enemies. If we would have just followed the Most High, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we would be in a better position. Rulership. We wouldn't have some wicked beast ruling over us, destroying everything that the Lord gave to us, for us. All right, continue reading.
Come will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
You see, above all nations. This ain't the earth or the face of the earth.
Of the earth.
Of the earth. All nations of the earth. We would have been above. But the reason we're not, drop down to verse 15. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
You see, but since we didn't listen, since we didn't hearken diligently, since we didn't focus, this is what the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, all of these curses came on. And when you read all the way down, it's a lot of curses, okay? And we still go through these curses today. All right, continue reading.
I will come, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Curse what?
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Uh-huh.
And the curse shall thou be in the field.
Okay, curse shall you be in the city and the field. Country boys and city boys, they both get underlined by the police. They both got the same plates, right? In the city and the country, you have no ownership. You are under a rule from another nation. You are under their thumb. Okay? And knowing that, you have to understand this came because we turned our back on the Most High God. So we have to serve these curses. Drop down to verse 32.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Stop right there. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. What does that sound like?
Us being put in slavery.
Us being put in slavery. That's exactly correct. I think y'all about to blow my mind with my next question.
It's like I said, this is going on right now as well with the Hispanics.
Where at? He blew my mind. Give him a hand. That was the next question. Where is this happening today? It is happening today on the borders with our Northern Kingdom brothers because they have them there under captivity, under foil blankets and cages right there on the border. Our sons and daughters are still given into another people today. Continue reading.
Come out of Wakan, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Your eyes shall look and have fellow with longing because you love your children. So you looking at every face Imagine if your child was taken from you and gave it away. Every face you ever see in the world, you're going to be looking for that face of your sweet, innocent child that was ripped out of your hands and sold or given it to another people. I couldn't imagine one of my kids being took away. I would be looking for them in every face, but we didn't get to find them. That's why it long, but we failed. You know, we say it failed. Continue reading.
Come out of come, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
There's no might in your hand, because there was nothing you could do to take your child back, to stop your child from being sold. None of that. Okay? This is why we have to understand that these people are not your friend. Go ahead.
I was just reading online. Biden has lost 88,000 of our kids crossing the border, so they don't know where they went to.
Yeah, they don't know where they went to. A lot of them are in some ditch somewhere. A lot of them are in some SEX trafficking ring. Okay, go ahead, Tamaki.
You know, a lot of like our people, once they hit the border, they automatically sent them up east, like to New York, Chicago, and now that's why you see the Haitians in Ohio right now.
Yep.
Everybody getting shipped up east, so they getting separated.
Yep, that's what they do. That's their plan, to separate. Some of these kids, they were taken at 2 years old, 1 year old. They don't even know what their parent looks like. They wouldn't even be able to recognize their mother and father. They won't even have no memory of their mother and father. This is how disgusting and wicked this place is. That's why you should never pledge your loyalty to it. Go ahead, come on.
So like if I may, that brings to attention that today we still call the slave catchers police officers. And as soon as they catch us on the border, we going right into their slave plantations. They're sending us off to work for minimum wage.
If you're getting paid any damn thing. Is there any more on that? Go ahead.
People don't understand how hard our people have it. They come over here, they come to up here. A lot of them get stuck in Mexico in some kind of camp. Some of them get over here and don't even have paperwork, so they stuck here until they have somebody to send them money to get paperwork. I talked to one person, and she's been in custody since she was 12.
Damn.
And now she's 20.
Damn.
She don't have no family, she don't have anything.
Yeah.
But even if she was to get money to get out, because they have to have their documents, they don't just let them out.
Right.
They give them so much food, so much this and so much that, so they have to pretty much fend for themselves. They don't understand how hard they got it, but they've been sold this dream to where if I just make it to America, if I just make it, I'm good. But they don't understand once they get here, they're in oppression all over again. So it's so sad that how so many of our people don't know our God to where they come over here to worship our persons. So that's why we got to continue to push this truth to save what we can before our King comes back, because what does the scripture say? Those that's found with them going to be thrust through.
Yep.
Because you're not serving our King, you're serving this beast here. You're serving America. So if you're not in this truth, you're not in the ISUPK, you're going to be in electrified. Are you?
That's bottom line. That's what's going to happen. Because, you know, you're told the American dream. And they say it's the pursuit, okay? The pursuit of freedom. It's the pursuit that's guaranteed. That's it. You can go pursue it. But that's about it. Whether you get any goddamn thing, okay, that ain't up to you. Where we at with the scripture?
We was on verse 32, but we finished.
All right. I need you to drop down to 48. And troopers, I'm about to be calling on you, so blow my mind. Azayala, you pick up and read. You ain't just gonna text your woman all class. Deuteronomy 28 and 48.
Come, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, and
serve your friends.
Serve thine enemies.
But Billy's your friend.
Serve thine enemies.
But Susie brings all the pumpernickel bread to work.
Serve thine enemies.
The Bible says you're going to serve thy enemies. I don't care how good that pumpernickel bread is. I don't care how much you and Billy love the Cowboys and love Michael Parsons and his daddy loved Emmitt Smith. It said you will serve your enemies. You're not serving your friends. I don't care how. Let me stop. Go ahead.
Come, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
No, slow that down. Which the Lord shall what?
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
In hunger and in thirst. And what else?
And in nakedness.
And in what?
In nakedness.
Uh-huh.
And in want of all things he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee.
All right, so you see that yoke of iron around the neck. Do y'all know what that's from?
Slavery.
From slavery. They would always tie us up like that. Tie us up, have us spinning around and walking like exercise like cattle. You know what I mean? And I want to let y'all in on another thing. You know how you could be with a woman and there's certain things she likes. You know what I mean? Like you could put a mask over her face, you could choke her out, you could do all these detriment things to her because in her DNA it had passed on for where she likes these things now. But that came from what our oppressor did to us. And they just been coded in our DNA, I guess, to be more comfortable with it. You understand? Like, because now they love it. But then it's from back then. Okay? Read that again.
Come. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he hath destroyed thee.
So he had that iron yoke around our neck, and he destroyed us, because we feared him. We were scared. We didn't want to band together. It was one slave master and 50 slaves. We could lift way more than him. We could do way more than him. But we were scared because our minds were destroyed. He put that iron yoke on until he destroyed you. Well, because you got your food from him, your water, your clothes. Well, today, that iron yoke is a spiritual yoke now. Why do I say that? Do y'all know? Why do I say? You give it a shot, Isaiah.
It's like, sir, because a lot of people still fall hands to the oppressor and think that he's the good guy and everything.
It's like, sir, it's because people think that we're free now, even though they still have us in captivity, and we're not even knowing them. Like it's like a spiritual yoke around our neck because everybody still think that we free because we able to pick what slave we can choose, or we can pick wherever we want to go, and we can go have a trip to Bahamas and everything. But you're still under captivity. It don't matter like that. That doesn't matter.
You're right. That's not the answer I'm looking for, but you're absolutely correct.
Just like
100% on that.
Just like when we used to complain to Moses, and I would say, man, I don't want to die in this. We would have to go back to Egypt and die there because they were just longing for us just to be enslaved by the oppressor.
Well, we ain't been free, no, because we ain't been free yet to experience that. You know. But once we get took it out of here, you better believe some Negroes is want to come back. When they like, hey, there ain't no 211s in the wilderness. There ain't no 40s in the wilderness. Okay? Go ahead, Tamaki, bring them home. This is the answer right here.
Can you ask the question again?
All right, so it said, how did that iron yoke become spiritual? Because it said we serve our enemies in hungerness and nakedness and in thirst. Hunger, nakedness, and thirst. Let's bring it to today. How do you serve your enemy in hunger and nakedness and in thirst today? Azayala. Not food stamps. Not just that. All right. What's your favorite meal?
Chicken.
All right. So if you want to cook some chicken, where do you go? You go to the Israelite market.
To go to Walmart or HEB.
You go to your oppressor, right? You need a sweatshirt. All them sweaters I like to wear in the summer. You got to go to your oppressor to get that. Your food, your water, your raiment. You go to the oppressor for all that. So that spiritual yoke, that physical yoke has become spiritual because we still serve our oppressor in hunger, in nakedness, and in thirst. So we get our food, our clothes, which is your raiment, and water from our oppressor. Okay? That's why we serve our enemies in hunger and nakedness and thirst. Continue reading with the scripture.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
And we know that happened to us. It said that it should bring a nation from far, as swift as the eagle flieth. Why does it say as swift as the eagle flieth? That's an identification marker. When you see that as swift as an eagle, that should identify with somebody. Go ahead, Yaquab. I seen your hand.
It's like I said, they say it's as swift as an eagle flight because that's the thing that they use to symbolize their whole nation.
That's what they do. Spaniards used it, the French used it, the Greece used it, the Rome used it. All these people use this. All your enemies. That scarlet beast, all of them use it. All right, continue reading.
Come from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
You see, that came from far. As swift as that eagle flieth, and that nation, their tongue, we didn't understand. We didn't know what the hell they were saying or talking about. They were speaking gibberish. And you see how weird and broken they was, the way they speak in all their damn movies. How the hell are we supposed to understand that? We're dignified people. We're supposed to understand this oppression. Continue reading.
Come, verse 50. A nation of fierce consonants.
A nation of what?
Of fierce consonants.
A nation of fierce countenance. This nation is so fierce that they don't love any of you. Okay, continue reading.
Come, which shall not regard the person of the old,
right,
nor shew favor to the young.
So when that dude drove all the way to that HEB with all those old people, a question? Okay, yeah, we'll get that. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so when that devil drove down, he went and hit all those old people in that HEB. Salaki, Officer McQuad, who was the one in the North Carolina church? Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof, unaliving old people. They don't have no regard for the old or young. Trayvon Martin. Anybody heard of him? Emmett Till. George Steinley. Anybody heard of him? Okay? They don't show no regard for the old or young. I remember this white lady was being interviewed. And they say, when does that young, cute black boy turn into a scary black man? You want to know what she said? Go ahead, Yaquab. You know? Give him a hand. Say that into the microphone.
12.
She said about 12 years old. Good night. Do you know you're still a child riding bikes, playing at 12? But that's when you become scary to your oppressor. Because they know you're going to grow up and be scared. And we're growing up loving them. And no matter what they do to us, at 50 years old, they're still not scary to us. Because we think Jesus Christ looks like them. Is there any more on 50? All right. What's the question, man?
I had answered it when I didn't even look at it. Spirit of prophet, subject to the prophet. You want to ask the question again?
But what was the question that he had?
He was asking you to ask the question again, and then he answered America, not Israel.
Okay.
And Young Man Says has some comments.
Okay. Most High in Christ. Yeah. All right. All right. Go to 64.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
You see, we are scattered through all the four. Just continue, Salaki.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
You see, that's what we do. We serve these other guys. We were scattered all over the earth. And as being scattered all over the earth, we serve all these other gods that our fathers haven't known. Continue with the first.
Even wood.
Even wood. What's the wood?
The Christian cross.
Continue.
And stone.
And what's the stone?
With the Muslims worship that rock, the rock.
The rock that they said fell out of the sky, and that's Allah, which is called the Kaaba stone. All right, you continue reading if there's any more on that, or is that it? Okay, that's what we do. That's what we do over here in America. We serve other guys that ain't our own. Go ahead.
Just to educate the young man and the troopers, what are the two leading religions on the planet? So, great. Okay.
That's what it is. That's all it is. Especially for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because we grew up in Christianity, and when we leave it, we think we have to leave it for Islam. Hell, I thought if I was ever going to leave Christianity, I thought it would have been for Islam. Shit, everything I used to love everything Muhammad Ali said. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, we ain't supposed to be Christians, just this. Thank God I found the truth before I ever made that decision. But that's what we're basically taught, you know. And then after that, you taught to fall into Kemet and all that Kemetic nonsense. And that is a bunch of nonsense because they're going to lie to you. They're going to say, oh, they were netters. These were belief systems. If these were belief systems, they wouldn't find all the servants unalive and mummified in their master's tomb. Because the Egyptians believe that your servants are going to serve you in the afterlife. So if Yaquab, if you was a leader and you had servants, once you pass, all of them got to be unalive so they can go serve you in the afterlife. That dog, Anubis, who they say walks you through the afterlife, if these were just thoughts, school of thoughts, they wouldn't have found 1 million mummified dogs in Anubis' temple. So obviously the Egyptians believe that a dog is going to carry you through the afterlife. So don't ever let them come up with that blackety black mumbo jumbo. And if they do call me, I'll help you cut them and shred them to pieces. Go ahead, warrior.
Especially if those like graven images.
Oh yes. For that, yeah, those are gravest images because they worship those. They worship all kind of. I wish I could run them all down. They worship them all. Graven images, Most High in Christ. All right, let's. What time is it? Give me the timestamp to mark you. It's 1 o'clock. 1 hour. It's 8:30. Most High in Christ. All right. Where we at? Let's read 68.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
It said the Lord is going to bring you into Egypt again with ships. Okay? I didn't ask a question. Go ahead, you first, and then you. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. You had your hand up first. Oh, I didn't have a question. That's what. So I don't know how you had your hand up, but the water for pressing the buzzer early. Okay, it didn't get you no points. All right, go ahead.
So like I said, this is how we know, like this is how we know that we are the Israelites that he talks about because he says right here that he's gonna bring us into Egypt with ships again, and the only people that got brought into Egypt with ships was the Israelites, and the only people that got brought into a place like Egypt today was us.
And what's another thing with the ships in Egypt? If they was talking about us coming from Israel to Egypt, what would the ships be? The ship wouldn't be significant, right? Because you don't need a ship. You could walk there in about 13 hours. Go ahead, Tamaki.
From Africa to America?
No, to Egypt. I mean, from Israel to Egypt. And it says you're going to bring you into Egypt again with ships.
See how it says ships. So it happened multiple times. It said ships. Remember Christopher Columbus? Ship. Right. And then from Ghana to America. So it happened to us multiple times. Ships.
And do y'all know what all right, so when you think of the transatlantic slave trade, what do you think of? From Africa to the Americas, right? But do you know what really started that? The Northern Kingdom being paraded to Spain. That's what started that. And only two people, Moses didn't go, Aaron didn't go into the Promised Land. The only people who went to the Promised Land was Caleb and Joshua. Okay? So it says you're going to bring you into Egypt. That multitude is who was being talked to on the point. That multitude was who was being talked to. Okay? I don't know where we at, 68. All right, it says, by the way for thereof, I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Talking about seeing our land. Since then, we haven't seen our land, and in the 1940s, our land was given to Ottoman Turk. And they were able to take our identity and portray as us in our holy land. But that little small portion they call Israel today, it's a lot bigger. When the Lord delivers us back to our land, oh, there's a whole bunch more that's being taken that's going to be the land of Israel. It's not just what they're showing you today. Remember that. All right? It says, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. People could buy out your slavery. You didn't have to be a slave. If they wanted you free, they could just buy you out, and you could be a free man, and you would have a free man papers. Who's that one? Frederick Douglass, sir? Well, he became a free man, and people bought their slavery out. You could buy that, but no man was going to buy you. No nation was going to come and free you. Nobody was coming and saving you. So this was the Lord's will, because this was a part of the curses. Because we could have never went through this. That's why the Bible says, the Lord said, if I would have gave this to another nation, they would have took it and held on to it. And look at how these other nations hold on to their custom. You think you could go to anything of theirs? You're not welcome. But we would welcome them into anything of ours. Our most precious, I think about just through my lifetime, my most precious moments in life, I invited an oppressor to. The things most sacred to me. Being in the world is being dead. Right. It just is. Because you have absolutely no understanding. I don't care if you're a goddamn astrophysicist. You're an idiot. If you don't have the oracles of this, you're an idiot. And you don't know a goddamn thing. And that's the problem, man. We think we're so smart. We think we're so smart and we're so vast in everything. You think your knowledge is vast and exhausting? Come in here. or your knowledge will get vast, and it will be exhausting. I think about this with Hebrew Academy every day. I got a whole, after 2 days of Hebrew Academy, I got a whole new respect for everybody who's went through it. Because now I'm starting to understand that these men who went through it, they have a way higher knowledge and understanding than I have. No matter how good I am at breaking this down. There's some Hebrew graduates that I can break this down probably better than me. They got a better knowledge than me. They got a better understanding than me. Like, what we are learning doing that, we are really learning the keys of life. Now I understand why these brothers understand life so much. Now I understand why these brothers have just a different level that you're like, how can I get to that level? Now I'm understanding how you get to that level. You know what I mean? And that's what we have to understand. You can't be out here looking at this person because he's a doctor. He got a PhD or he has this or he has that. Don't look at him as if he's some wise man. You got brothers here in the ISUPK. Those are the wise men that you need to look at. Those are the men you need to go to. Those are the men you need to call. Those are the men you need to get the answer to. Right here in this school, we have all of the answers. All of the answers. I look at people in life and they tell me something, and I'm looking at them like, why didn't you just call Cap? Because you don't know Cap. You can't call Cap if you don't know Cap. Why don't you just call Naquan? Naquan had the answer for you. Oh, you just a nigga at my slave. You don't know Naquan. You can't call us for Naquan of 1,000 and get the correct answer. You just can't. Because you don't know him and he doesn't know you. But I can. I can pick up this phone right now and call and get any answer that I need.
Right.
Anything. No matter what it is. Go ahead, Tamaki.
So like if I made to it, and if like people in different zones watching, just click on this QR code at the top. It's connecting you to a WhatsApp, and you can get in contact with your local camp leaders, right? So you can ask those questions right next to you in your city and your town. It's a QR code right here on the right-hand side at the top, the water.
Yeah, you're damn right. Definitely promote that. We seen this sister at campus. She was like, do you have any more females in your organization? And I told her, I said, no, sis, we need more family in our family. We are a family. Yeah, we're ISUPK, but we are a family. And we need all of our family in our family. Everybody's important. And just because you're in here and they're out there, we can't look at them just down because we don't know. We don't know what the Lord has in store for them. They might come in here and be something great. Okay? The illest picture I ever seen is a brother who was homeless, looking down like he was on drugs, looking into a garbage can. And then next to the side of that picture, he had the Hebrew Academy cover on. Like, to see people's journeys, to see where people come from, it's amazing. And we couldn't do this and just Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah for Commander General Yohana keeping it together. And Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah for Captain Yatashak raising all of us up. He said it to me. He said it to me. When it was a handful of people, missing a few feet. He said, this is going to grow. It's going to explode. And then I just see it. I see all the people everywhere, all these different zones. And it's like, it's amazing. But you have to work for this to happen. You can't be at home. We have to be out there. You know what I mean? We have to be out there. All right, we're going to drop that. blacks and natives, Indians, or Israel. Because and let's get to Christians love to say the law's done away with, but Christ did not do away with the law. Christ did not do away with the law. Give me Matthew 5:17.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Hold on. Why do Christians say the law is done away with? Hey, you know why? Because when Christ perished, they think everything was fulfilled. They think everything is fulfilled because Christ was hung up on the cross. Continue reading.
Come. Or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
And that's why they believe that the law is done away with, because they believe that Christ fulfilled it, but they don't have no understanding. Christ is the fulfillment, but that doesn't destroy the law or the prophets, because Christ was here and he followed what? The law. So how can you say a man is going to get rid of a law that he followed? Why the hell did he waste time following it? That would be a waste of time. Following a law that I'm going to throw out? Why the hell would I do that? That's idiotic. Continue reading.
Come, verse 18.
No. That was it on 17? Okay, let me see. Yeah, Christ didn't come to... Go ahead, 18. Swatch it. Yep.
Come, verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass.
Till when?
Till heaven and earth pass.
Christians. Go back. Go back and read it through. This is for Christians. Because Christians say that grace is abound and that the law is done away with. Let's see what Christ said.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
It said till heaven and earth pass. Okay? Where are you at? For verily I say unto you, until heaven or earth pass. Christians, you cannot be that simple. Don't the Bible say, how long will ye be simple? You cannot be that simple. Right. To think that the law is done away with and you're standing on earth. I'm on the earth right now, and these letters are in red. And Christ said, until heaven and earth. Heaven and earth. So why the hell are we standing on earth? It obviously didn't pass. Not one jot or tittle shall be no wise. Okay, continue reading.
Come, verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
You're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. You teaching men that the law is done away with. You're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. Right. You teaching that God and Christ knows your own heart. You're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. If you're teaching that Christ is God, and there's some Holy Trinity and Virgin Birth, you're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. Continue reading.
Come. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be great in the kingdom of heaven. We're not trying to be the least. Give me 19. 19 and 17.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good, but one that is God.
Hold on, Jesus is God.
But one that is God. But if thou...
Christ is saying, why are you calling me good? There is none good but God. So why is everybody saying that Jesus Christ is God? So God sent himself here to unalive himself to save us. That don't make no damn sense. Go ahead.
So I got something to add to that too, because if God was Jesus, then that means God died, right?
Right.
So wouldn't that mean the earth will be destroyed? The doctrine just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense because the Most High is the Almighty, all-powerful. He wouldn't have to send himself here to be unalive, to save a damn thing. It's because it requires a blood sacrifice. A sin requires a sacrifice. And since we sinned against the Most High, there was no more lambs and bulls and bullocks to be brought up. Okay? It was time for the last sacrifice. Continue reading.
Come. Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Do what?
Keep the commandments.
That's what you got to do. You have to keep the commandments. That's what it's about. That's your whole duty. Your whole duty is to keep the commandments. Okay? Where we at? That was 19 and 17?
Come.
All right. Let's get 1 John. Chapter 2, verses 3.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
A personal relationship.
We do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
He knows my heart.
We do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
Not Jesus.
We do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
That's how you know if you know the Most High. That's how you know if you know Christ. If you keep his commandments. Continue reading.
Come, verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments is a liar.
He's telling the truth.
Is a liar.
He's a man of God.
Is a liar.
That's exactly what he is. He is a liar. Continue reading.
And the truth is not in him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. But whosoever keepeth his word in him, verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him.
You see, that is the requirement. To keep the commandments. If you don't keep the commandments, you don't know God. If the law is done away with, then you don't know God. You don't know Christ. You don't know any damn thing. You're just flowing through the world. Give me Romans 6 and 1.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may be abound?
All right, so now that we're under grace, shall we still sin? This is what Paul is asking. You see, this is why I don't really understand how Christians are so confused. But he's saying it right here. If we're under grace, should we still sin? Continue reading.
Come, verse 2. God forbid.
God says, yeah.
God forbid.
God accepts the sin.
God forbid.
God forbid. Though we're under grace, that doesn't give you the right to do whatever the hell comes to your mind. Continue reading.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
You see, that's like what we be pulling in Colossians, the 2nd chapter. All right, that's the same thing when it says that. Like, if we are under the rudiments of Christ and not to the world, like why are you still serving the world? Why are you still celebrating Christmas? We're under the rudiments of Christ. Read that part one more time.
Come.
How shall we?
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
Us, we're in the truth. We are dead to sin, so we don't have to live according to it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to serve the sin because you're in the truth. Go ahead.
It's like, sir, who was the person telling him that God forbid?
That's Paul saying this.
It's like, so Paul asks.
Yeah. Paul is asking. That's like me asking you. Now that we're under grace, should we still get high? Should we still have fornication because we're under grace? And Paul is saying, God forbid.
So it was like he teaches somebody.
Yeah, like how we ask questions in here.
Okay, so he was like somebody probably asking the question.
No, he's asking the question. That's like me asking you. All right, Yahweh, we in the truth. No, give him back the mic. Yahweh, we in the truth. Right now, should we go tag team some broad? Should we? God forbid. We're under grace. Didn't TD Jakes say, if I did do something, let me get the voice down. If I did do something wrong, could not this the blood, couldn't the blood? Then he say if he was at the Diddy party, then he said the blood can protect him. God forbid. First, you go ahead, and then I'll get you.
So like
you might be long-winded, officer.
Is grace used as not getting immediate judgment?
Grace is like you didn't pay your cell phone bill. It was due the 15th. You got a grace period until you see. Yeah, grace isn't just some forever thing. You're under grace when you didn't know about Christ. Go ahead, Tamaki.
Like if I may, I think they still miss the point what God forbid meant. Like Paul was cutting it. You ever heard that cut it? Hell no.
But that's what Paul was doing. Like how we ask these questions. We ask these questions to Garrett. Go ahead, Officer Zakari.
Hey, somebody, so it was like a rhetorical question?
It was a question and the answer. Because he asked a question and then he said, God forbid. He gave the answer right ever. Like sometimes I ask y'all a question and I answer it right after, before y'all can answer it. That's what Paul was doing. Okay? Where we at? 6 and 1.
Verse 3.
No, we ain't in that verse 3.
We're still on 2.
We ain't going to verse 2. Drop that. But just know verse 2 says, God forbid.
Right.
All right. Go to 15. I want y'all to just have what I want y'all to have. Don't add verse 2 to this lesson.
6 and 15.
God.
Come on. This is the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 15. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid.
Y'all understand that, right? See? He's saying, because we're not under the law and we're under grace, shall we sin? Because the law isn't done away with. Christ didn't do away with the law. Give me 1 John. Huh? I can't hear you. Yeah, this is Romans. That's Paul. Give me 1 John 3 and 4. Because anytime somebody asks you what sin is, this is where I want y'all to go. This is how you let somebody know exactly what sin is. Who got that? Yahweh got that.
Oh, yeah. It's the book of 1 John.
No, you're right. That's what that says. Or are you on there? That's what that is. So you're right. Go ahead.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Who what?
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Whose mothers, fathers, anything are Christian in here? And they say the law is done away with, right? will tell them that sin is done away with them. Read that one more time.
Come. Whosoever committed sin, transgressing the law, also the law.
Because sin is what?
Sin is
Read it. Continue reading.
transgressing also the law.
Read that again.
Sin is transgressing the law.
You see? Do you see that? 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So ask any Christian if they believe that there is sin in the earth. You can't believe that Christ did away with the law and that there is still sin in the earth, because sin is only a transgression of the law. So if there is no law, then there could be no sin. Tell a Christian that. Make a Christian stand on that and break that down. How can you break that down? It literally tells you what sin is. If there is no law, then there can be no sin, because sin is a transgression of the law. I done had this battle many a times. And I know people who went to all of the theologian schools and all this. I know bishops, old men, and I cut them to piss with this one scripture. Because how can you get around this? Sin is a transgression of the law. I'm going to say it again. If there is no law, then there can be no sin. All right. So why the hell is your grandmother calling you a heathen? Calling you a sinner? Because you smoke weed in her house. You are a sinner for smoking weed in her house, but she don't know why you're a sinner, because she don't believe in the law. How the hell can she know you're a sinner? She don't believe in the law, but you just a sinner. You smoking weed and she eating pork chops, calling you a sinner. Because she don't know the law. And sin is a transgression of the law. Give me 1 John 5 and 3. These ISUPK bedrock scriptures, like, these right here, it's just, they just different. This the beginning to ISUPK. You wonder why we defeat everybody? Because they don't know the Bible. What I'll teach you tonight is where we start at. This is our start. And y'all can't answer these questions in the world. How you gonna answer the hidden gems and all that? Okay. Whoever got you got it, warrior. You on top. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 John 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep.
Hold on. Are we in the Old Testament?
New Testament.
I just want to make sure. Because, the Old Testament, you got to get rid of that, right? So let's see what the New Testament keeps saying.
Come on. 1 John 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
That he knows our own heart.
That we keep his commandments.
He sees me trying.
That we keep his commandments.
That's the love of God. That we keep his commandments. I'm a father. You think I give a damn about my kids' commandments? I absolutely don't. My rib might care a little bit, but I don't give a damn. What I says go in this household, and I don't give a damn how nobody feels. That's how the Most High feels about you. The Most High feels exactly the same way. You think the Most High gives a damn about what Shamarawan feels or thinks? Who the hell am I? Who the hell am I to have an opinion on what the Lord says to do? He's the Father. He can punish me. He can spank me. My kids don't want me to lay fire to that tail. Oh, they don't want that. They don't want no belt coming across, right? None of us wanted that. So we like, hey, all right, they're in charge. I'm going to do what they say. I better have that trash out. I better do those dishes. But we look at God like we're in control. Officer Daquan. We look at the Most High like we eat them like children. Get out of my room, Mom. Hey, that's how we look at God. Get out of my room, God. No. God is a black God. You don't even have a door in your damn room no more because you can't be trusted.
That's right.
So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we don't have a door in our room. You know how we know that? Because our oppressor controls us. So we don't have a door in our room. We don't have a door in our hut to our house. It's wide open for the government and anybody else to come all in. Go ahead, Tamakia.
It's like if I may, that brings me to attention, like some of these cats that claim they're Israelites are really Christians. They'll only be New Testament, right? But they'll still keep things that they like in the Old Testament. Wait a minute, right? You can't have it both ways unless it's both ways.
Exactly.
Because the New Testament is the Old Testament.
It is.
And it's heavy you just went to Matthew 5:17, sir. Because I want to raise my hand in Clubhouse so bad last night. So,
They was on that.
They were talking about one wife for a bishop and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they were trying to do away with the Old Testament.
They just hit it. What time is it?
We are 1:40.
No, what time, Tom?
9:08.
I got to get through this section. Who Christ died for. Matthew 1:21. Yeah, let me get this for Kakam. Kakam, remember this. Show you how to break this down, Matthew 1:21. Telling you, I feel good to have a Bible in my hand. I need to get back to that. I used to find a fat. Hey, I used to turn and the Lord was with me just, oh, damn, it's right there. I ain't picked that up in a minute. I know them phones. But no, I remember General Q was teaching the class one time. He said, I know y'all got that phone. He said, but it's good to pick up this Bible and go through it. You know what I mean? Like General Q said that, you know? So, you know, that's a wise man letting us know wise things. I believe he's the one that said that too. I think that's where I got that from. Where he said that one day, you know, the phones is going to go out. And you're going to need this Bible. You're going to have to pick these records up. Give me that real quick, though. Let's move along.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus.
It says, she shall bring forth a son. This is an angel talking to Mary. All right? She shall bring forth a son. And Jesus is going to come out of the seed of David, right? We know that, right? Well, Mary wasn't from the seed of David.
Right.
And the Most High doesn't believe in adultery. So why would he put a baby in this man's rib and it don't come from him? And Joseph was from the seed of David. So that's how we know Christ came from him. Continue reading.
For he shall save his people.
And he shall save his people. Go ahead.
From their sins.
And this is what I want you to understand. This is how you break this down. If Jackie Chan was coming to save his people, who would he save them from?
He save the Moabites.
From the Moabites. If Mahatma Gandhi was coming to save his, if Ubuntu was coming to save his, you see what I mean? That's how you break that scripture down. If it's for his people, and we know that he is an Israelite, that means he is coming to save Israelites, because it said you will have a son, his name will be Jesus, and he will save his people. A Christian's going to try to make it to where his people is everybody. All right, let's get off of that. Let's get to Matthew 10:7. Hold on. You're going to have to hold it till next week, because we got to get through these last parts.
10:7.
10 and 5. Smart.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Don't go into the way of the heathen. You go into your people. Christ is saying to go into our people, not go into every goddamn body. Continue reading.
I will come.
verse 6.
Verse 6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go to your brother. That's what we do today. We go to our brother. Continue.
Verse 7. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
We got to say the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We got to say Christ is coming back. We got to say you better be on the right goddamn side when he does. Give me 15 and 24.
Matthew 15 and 24.
Okay.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
You see, you see, Christ, he was sent for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Nobody else. He was sent for us. Give me John. John 4 and 22.
This is the book of John, chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
For the Moabites.
Salvation is of the Jews.
Hamites.
The Jews.
Amalekites.
The Jews.
Edomites.
The Jews.
It is for you, so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. That's what this is for. It's not for every damn body. So quit inviting everybody to your records and to your heritage. Okay? Okay. Continue. Is that it on there?
Sir.
All right, continue.
Verse 23. But the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father.
No, we don't need that. Hold on one second. All right. That was the end of that. Give me Acts 5 and 30.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 30. The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree.
You see, that where Christ was hung on that cross, right? But so was two other people, two heathen. I mean, not heathens, two sinners. Okay, they were hung on the cross too, right? So, what made the cross significant was just Christ. All right, he was hung on a tree because that cross is just wood. Okay, where we at? That's it on there. Yeah, continue reading.
Verse 31. Him hath God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel.
To everybody. To
give repentance to Israel.
All right, we're seeing who Christ died for. That's what these scriptures are. From Matthew 1:21 to where we are, this is who Christ died for. Okay? Got to understand that. Read that again. Yep.
Verse 31. Him hath God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel.
That's who the repentance is for. Not for everybody. It is for Israelites. Give me Romans 9 and 4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God, and the promises. Verse 5. Whose are the fathers?
Hold on, read that again. 4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God, and the promises.
Y'all should remember, I hope y'all got the precepts from when I taught that class. Because I went through very long and very extensive. I took what Captain Yatazak said. And I took that lesson and I gave it to y'all. You might have missed it. All of that stuff, the promises, they say you could be grafted in. Everything, the covenant, the giving of the law, that was given to Israel. Continue reading.
Verse
Let us know
5.
where you're at.
Verse 5.
The whole thing.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 5. Whose are the fathers, and whom as concerning the flesh Christ came?
The what?
Whose are the fathers, and whom as concerning the flesh Christ came?
The spirit Christ came.
The flesh Christ came.
From God to the Mother Mary, he came.
The flesh Christ
He
came.
came through the flesh. How do you come through the flesh? Through sex. Continue.
Who is all over. God bless forever. Amen.
Understand that. 11 and 26. Give it to somebody else. Romans 11 and 26.
It's the book of Romans 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved.
All who?
All Israel shall be saved. As it is written, there shall come out of Zion.
What is Zion?
Is
What is Zion? I just gave y'all the answer saying the
Zion?
wrong word. That's right. Zion is Zion. Continue.
There shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
That's what he's doing. He's bringing us all back into the fold. Okay? That's what Christ is going to do. Let's get the last one. Jeremiah 31 and 31 through 33. And y'all remember, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, remember we matched Jeremiah up with Hebrews. And it said the exact same thing. So let's get that. Yeah, we'll start at 31 and 31.
It's the book of Jeremiah, 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, said the Lord. Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people.
That's what this is all about. It's all about bringing us back. And when you read Hebrews 8 and 8 through 10, it says the same thing as Jeremiah 31 and 31 through 33. Okay? Any questions? Online or in the room? I know y'all got some kind of question. Before I ask y'all a damn question, I'm going to ask a hard one.
Salagi, sir, can you give me some scriptures to debunk the Christianity doctrine of the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit? So,
Yeah, we could go where we went tonight, where Christ said, there is none good but the Father in heaven. Also, hey, I need officers to give them this stuff. So if y'all can't, Baba Prashad, find them that what we talked about earlier, that none is good in heaven but the Father. Also talk about, also give them, damn, I just had it before I said that. What's another one tonight? And Christ sits at the right hand of the Father. And give them Christ sits at the right hand of the Father.
14 and
I think those two should be good.
14, 62.
Let me find one more something.
14, 62. Mark.
So, like I said, I got another question. Can you break down Colossians 2 and
Oh yeah.
2 and 9?
Yep.
Because I know the rest of the scriptures of 8 and 10 and so forth, but I don't know what 9 is saying. What is a Godhead body?
Okay. You can take Luke 11 and 13 as well. All right, now let's go to that Colossians. I don't know. I can't get back to where I was. Hey, go ahead and get Colossians and start at 2 and 8.
Come. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
So that's meaning we're going to live after Christ. So we don't have to be subjected to Thanksgiving and all the holidays and all the wickedness. Continue.
For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily.
All right, for them that read it again.
For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily.
So when you were of the Father, what do you look like? Like, all right, so when somebody comes up to you and they say, we want to talk to Commander General Yohana, you are talking to Commander General Yohana if you're talking to me, because I'm saying the same thing. Because I'm under the same Godhead bodily, all right? We're under the same body. We're one body. Christ is one body with God. So if you're following Christ, you are under the God body. You are under the Most High. Because Christ, if you see Christ, you see the Most High. If you see me, you see the Qua. Because you ask us the same question, we're going to give you the same answer. Go ahead. You had your hand up again.
Come. There's a scripture that you reminded me of. I forgot.
Paraphrase it. I'll find it.
I think it was somebody asked Christ to see the Father, and he said, "You are looking."
That's exactly what I just explained. Yes, because when you see Christ, you see the Most High. What you got to say, Tanaki?
Question in the comment.
Go ahead.
So, Sister Kapau, she says, Logic certified made. Can Deuteronomy 13 and 17 be used as a future prophecy as to what will happen to America.
She said Deuteronomy 13 and 17. What is it?
You want me to read it?
No, I need to get there myself.
Yeah, 13, 17.
All right, let me read that.
You read, sir?
Yeah, go up. Start at 14 to give me some context. Because hers was at 17. Yeah, I want to start 3 verses up.
Come. It's the book of Rerun, 13, verse 14. Then shalt thou inquire and make search and ask diligently, and behold, if it be the truth and the thing certain that such an abomination is wrought among you.
Continue reading.
Come on, verse 15. Thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof, with the edge of the sword.
Continue.
Verse 16. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shalt burn with the fire of the city, and all the spoil thereof, every whit, for the Lord thy God, and it shall be a heap forever. It shall not be built again.
All right, now let's get to her question. Go ahead. Verse 17.
Come on, verse 17. And there shall cleave not of the cursed thing to thine hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and shew thee mercy, and have compassion unto thee, upon thee, and multiply thee, as he had sworn unto thy fathers.
So she's saying, is this going to be a future prophecy? That's what she's asking. Is it going to happen to America? Well, it says right here in 17, and there shall cleave not of the cursed thing of thy hand, that the Lord may turn his fierceness of his anger and show mercy and have compassion upon thee. If the Lord's going to turn his and have compassion and mercy, it's going to be upon us. So it's not going to be upon America. That compassion and mercy it would be upon Israel. You know what I mean? It says, thee and has sworn unto thy fathers. So to me, this is saying like, you got something else in the book? So to me, this is saying like, this is for our nation. This don't have nothing to do with America, but this is for our nation. Okay? Just read 17 again.
Come on, verse 17. And there shall cleave not of the cursed things that it's like a thing to thy hand.
So them cursed things that in thine hand, we're not going to cleave to them. We're not going to cleave to the wickedness. We're not going to cleave to the false idols. We're not going to cleave to the lies. Continue.
Come on. That the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger.
The fierceness of his anger, us going through these curses. This is us being delivered from the curses, okay? From all the tragedies that we go through. So we don't have to be unalived at 18 and 19 and and let me tell blacks and Hispanics this. Young people, prepare for your future. I didn't believe I was going to make it to 18, so I didn't prepare.
Right.
Then I turned 18. I didn't believe I was going to make it to 21, so I didn't prepare. Right. Then I turned 21. Then when I turned 30, I couldn't believe it. I never thought I would live to, so I didn't plan. You know what I mean? I remember I got married quick and had kids at 23 because I didn't believe I was going to make it to 25 because how did I make it to 18? And then I made it to 30. Okay? And now I'm in my 40s. Okay? And I'm looking at y'all brothers doing Hebrew Academy, and when y'all are 18 and 19 and 20, I wish. You know what I could do with those? I could run up a goddamn building. You would have thought I was a goddamn magician. At 18, I don't think y'all understand. But I didn't grow up with a goddamn iPhone. I remember my pops, we was watching Star Trek. He said, "You see that thing in their hand? That's going to be in everybody's household." I was like, I said, "There's no way. It's in everybody's household." I didn't grow up with this. I probably watched him singing all the holiday specials at school because he was about 2 years younger than my oldest. Okay, and I was at that school watching all them little cats perform. You know, but tell the sis, this is us being delivered. This is us, not America. It's us. Okay. Anything else on there? Okay.
So Deuteronomy 13 and 15 be further to America.
Let me see.
So Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 15.
Okay. Go ahead. Now she more on point. Go ahead.
Come.
Now she more on point.
Thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, in the cattle thereof.
Give me 1 hour, Tamakia, and tell them where it's at. Yeah, it's Revelations. I don't know if it's the 18th chapter. Give me 1 hour.
Yeah, 18 to 17.
Go ahead. Because this is what I want the sister to understand as well. How fast it's going to happen. You know, like, we think on our deathbed, or we think when Christ come back, we can hurry up. But it's within 1 hour, something's going to happen. Huh? You got it? You got it?
Yeah, I told him better than.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead. I was like, good night.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18.
I say we need to give you your officer's test. If you just got it like that, you just need your officer's test.
Chapter 18, verse 17. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea.
That's not what I want. I want in 1 hour what's going to happen to America in 1 hour.
James, Matthew 2.
That's what it is. Let's go there. Breathing and talking. That's the two things you're doing at once. My man said 2 things at once. I'm breathing and talking. That's why I got the punch. Here, I'll get it.
I got it.
What is it?
Revelation 18 and 19.
That's it. 18. It's Revelations 18 for sure. You make me want to break down the whole Revelations 18. Man, this is a part of the lesson I was going to originally teach. But I'm doing a favor for y'all. Read it.
This is the book of Revelation,
For
chapter
the system.
18, verses 19. and they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city where were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate.
Hey, sis, Kapa. In 1 hour, this place is going to be desolate. If you're not on those chariots, probably by the 30th minute, in that hour, them next 30 minutes, you're going to know. And Captain Yatazak said something so heavy. He had a dream. And he said he seen people that he loved outside the chariots. And the angel told him not to look. And he looked anyway. And when he looked, he felt compassion and sorrow for the people that he loved outside the chariots. Do you know what the angel told Captain Yatazak in the dream? You can be out there with them. Always remember that. Remember, you can love your mama too much. You can love your mama and your grandma and your son so much that you could just get out the chariot. You was in the chariot. Captain Yatazak was in the chariot. And the angel was going to put him out because he already told him don't look out the window. And Cap looked anyway. And when he looked, he seen somebody that he loved a lot. Somebody that he loved enough to make him question, should they be next to him or outside? You know how many people I have? I have more people. You know how many people that if I see that? Do you know how many people if I had to look out? If Noah has to look out that window in the ark and see these people, do you know there is people that I cannot look out and see? I'm going to be out there destroyed with them. There's certain people in my life that I could not look out and see them out there and me in here. Y'all remember that. They told Cap that. The angel told Cap that. You can be out there with them. And that's what it is. No respect of a person. Because everybody ain't meant to be right here. You think just because you love them? Y'all think I don't love my children? Y'all think I don't love my children at a high level? My mother? My stepfather? My stepfather, he was basically the only person in the world that I cared about. He's the only one whose opinion mattered. I remember when he seen me in this truth, and he said he was proud of me. That's what made me continue harder. There's people you're going to see on the outside that it would destroy you. So you know what we do? We never look outside. I learned from Captain Yatazak to never look outside that window. Lord willing, if I make it on the chariot, I know never to look outside the window. Because if you look outside the window, you're only going to see the people that you love and care about. It's not going to be a bunch of strangers running by that you don't know. It might be your mama. It might be your wife. It might be your brother in the truth. It might be me. You might look out and see me. Like, damn, Salakia had a one. And that angel say you could join him. Don't join me. Stay where you're supposed to stay. And with that, I'll pass the class to Trooper Azayala.
Question.
All right, hold on. Question. Go ahead.
Jose Fata, are you a Christian?
No.
Right.
Can you elaborate? Does he know where Christianity comes from and all that? Does he know that Christianity wasn't allowed to be portrayed everywhere unless they kept pagan customs? No, we are not Christians. We are men of the Lord. What else has he got to say? If you got something to say, hurry up and say it. What's his name?
OJ Nafaka.
OJ Genesis. Because I only know OT Genesis. OJ Simpson. Are you a Christian? OJ Nafata. Are you an African?
He replied back.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just asking, bro. What is that? Puritans and what do you follow?
No, what do you follow and what's your real question? Just get to the point because we're about to close up. So get to the point. You much rather deal with me than tomorrow. You come in here tomorrow and you just get completely embarrassed.
7 o'clock.
You know? I was just asking, bro. Puritans and what do you follow?
Yeah, what do you follow again?
Why are you asking about Puritans? Why are you asking about any Edomites? There is no Edomites in here. I just need to know. No, what do you follow?
Right.
What do you follow? We showed you we follow the whole time. We follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Right. Somebody give me Psalms. What I want. I'm going to show you what we follow. NAFTA.
He texted again. He said, I understand. I was asking, what's your religion, or do you not follow it?
We don't have a religion. We are a people. We are a family. This ain't a religion. A religion is something that anybody could come into. We are not a religion. We are what you call a people. Okay? We're a demographic. Just like Africans are Africans. Chinese are Chinese. East Indian or East Indian. We are Israelites. According to the seed and the promise. That's what we are. So we don't have a religion, NAFTA. What do you follow? Are you a Christian? And if you're a Christian, bring your Christianity here and see if you're, let's see if Christianity is right.
147, verse 19.
That's what I need. He giveth his laws unto Jacob, his statutes and his commandments unto Israel. He has not done so. Yeah.
147 and 19.
Yeah, give me that.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob.
He showed his word into a religion.
He showed his word unto Jacob.
Into a denomination.
Unto Jacob.
Unto Jacob, whose name was changed. Continue.
His statutes and judgment unto Israel.
Unto Israel.
Verse 20. He hath not dwelt so with any nation.
See, he gave the law, statutes, and commandments unto them. No, we don't follow a religion because we are a people. What do you follow? No. I just seen you. You was on Captain Tazarian's thing, I think, talking the same thing. Ethiopians are not that. Can you give me Ham in the Zondervan? No, you got it right there. We'll look it up. Give me Ham. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you NAFTA. Continue reading. No, he read it. He had not done so with any other nation, right?
Verse 20. He have not dwelt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
You see, all these other nations, they have not known them. You see, y'all want to teach that the Ethiopians are the Jews. They are not. Okay? They are from the tribe of Ham. Okay? And are you sure it's missing in there? That's not mine, Stamakia. That's not my book.
Yeah, but it's missing that.
It probably is because I go to it a lot.
Oh, yeah, the Christian Pentecost.
Right, just like the I follow Christian Pentecostal. So why don't you speak in a tongue? You don't even know what a tongue is. Ask him what a tongue is. He doesn't know what a tongue is. You Pentecostal, you don't know what a tongue is? You know, you a shubbla bubbler. Who has that for me? Don't let me get cut. Can we yeah, can I get what I need? Can I get what I need for the Ethiopians?
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
But what?
But like not the Negro.
But what?
Not the Negro.
Yeah. You see, Ham, he is of the dark races, but not the Negro. Everybody knows this. Continue.
But the Egyptians.
The what?
But the Egyptians. The Ethiopians.
The what?
The Ethiopians.
The what?
Ethiopians.
NAFTA. The Ethiopians are not Israelites because they're under Ham. Read that from the top again. NAFTA.
The youngest son of Noah was probably about 96.
Y'all are the tribe of Ham, okay? Ham is not Sam. Right. Go ahead.
Born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negro.
Not the dark races, but not the Negro, but the what?
But the Egyptians.
But the what?
But the Egyptians.
I'm not even getting the other Hamite tribes because we're just cutting certain ones. Go ahead. And what?
Egyptians, Ethiopians.
In the what? No, we don't care about them. We just care about the what?
The Egyptians and Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians. That's what you said, NAFTA. NAFTA. We are of the tribe of Shem. I'm sorry, it's like it. We come from Shem. We are Semitic people. We're not Hamites. So the Israelites are not Ethiopians. Because what does it say? Not the what?
Not the Negroes.
No, not the. No. Ham became the progenitors of the what?
Progenitors of the dark races.
I just want him. The Ethiopians.
Oh, sorry. But the Egyptians and Ethiopians.
That is what we call a cut. NAFTA. Where you at?
Still Texas.
NAFTA. Take some more. Go ahead.
Talking about better Israel
He's not talking about no real sources. Because when you get cut, you got to go and lean onto your own understanding. You know? Beta Israel or Philosophy. Well, we're alphas and not betas. So understand that. Every man in the ISUPK is an alpha and not a beta. Okay? And this boy brought up philosophers? Really? Get in the QR code and what's your last message? What are you? Are you some Ethiopian?
Pentecostal.
Yeah, you're a Pentecostal. Well, why don't you talk in tongues and pray over us? Type in your tongues. Who was wandering Israelites? You're not making sense. Hurry up and type something else in before I leave you. You got one more chance, NAFTA. Say something predominant. Is what? Wandering where? Through the wilderness, like Moses said? He's done. Hey, tune in tomorrow with your nonsense. Maybe Cap might accept it. He might not. I don't know. But we're done with NAFTA in the nonsense. Okay. Because the oldest wandering Israelite has to be Moses, right? Has to be Moses and everybody who came out of Egypt, who went to the wilderness, wandering. Okay. All right. With that, we pass the class over to Trooper Azayala. Yeah. He had a scare smile, so we'll give it to him. He got fresh braids. I've never seen him in braids. Give him a hand. And I am mad about the braids because I want a pair, but I can't grow. So go ahead. I'll let the brother with the braids handle it tonight. Okay. Everybody getting braided up. Okay. I'll see y'all posting y'all pictures looking glorious.
We are the ISUPK, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, found in Numbers chapter 18, verses 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests. Not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Upcoming holy convocations is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month, Wednesday, the 2nd of October, found in Leviticus chapter 23, verses 24 through 25. If anyone wants to be a trooper in this school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we pass back over to Officer Shmarwan at 500.
All right, with that, we go into Maji and what's being said. Gonna give a courtesy salute to the brothers. All right, men of Israel, Maji Shabbat, Maji, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah. All right, Yahweh Matah, we're gonna start. We're gonna turn, face the sisters. Sister Rise, men of Israel, Maji Shabbat, Maji, Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, Yahweh Matah, class dismissed.